Hello everyone and welcome. We're going to spend some time today digging into our district's framework for planning, Future Ready Unit Planning, or what we call FRUPS. This is really all about your role at the system level, how you can help this take root and grow across all of our schools. So let's get one thing straight right off the bat. FRUPS is not just another new initiative. I know we're all tired of that. Think of it more like a new operating system for the district. A unified instructional architecture that brings all our unit planning together into one coherent, equitable structure. The whole point here is to bring clarity, not to add more complexity.
So, how are we going to map this out? First, we'll talk about why having a unified system is so important. Then, we'll break down what FRUPS actually is. From there, we'll zoom in on your specific role as a steward of this system. And finally, we'll look at how the professional development is set up to support this entire rollout.
Okay, let's start with that big picture, unifying our instructional system. Without that stable, long-term coherence that comes from the district level, even the absolute best ideas can fizzle out at the school level. Your leadership provides that essential anchor.
And this really leads to a key question, right? Why does this have to be driven by district leadership? Why can't it just be a school-by-school thing? Well, it really comes down to the unique 30,000-foot view that only you have, looking out across the entire district landscape. When you break it down, your role really has 4 key functions. First, you're the ones ensuring coherence across different schools, so a kid gets a consistent experience no matter where they are. You're also maintaining those crucial guardrails for equity. You're the main support system for principals and coaches on the ground. And maybe the most important part? You're stewarding this thing for the long haul, thinking years down the road, not just about the next school year. So, we've talked about why your role is so vital. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly is FRUPS? What are its core building blocks? At its heart, FRUPS is built on 3 core pillars. And these aren't just things to check off a list. They are woven into the very fabric of every single unit right from the start.
So, what are they? Pillar 1 is 21st century learning, focusing on those essential 4 C's: critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. Pillar 2 is integrated equity-driven design. This is where we bring in things like universal design for learning and culturally responsive practices. And the third pillar is digital and AI literacy, making absolutely sure our students are prepared for the world they are graduating into. Okay, now for what is probably the most critical part for this group, your specific role as a steward. Let's get really clear on what these system-level responsibilities are, and just as important, what they aren't. This distinction is absolutely key. Your role is strategic. It's about ensuring coherence, supporting your principals, and guiding the overall health of the system. It is explicitly not about jumping in to plan individual units or being the FRUPS police enforcing compliance or managing its day-to-day use in the classroom. Think of yourselves as the architects and guardians of the system, not the micromanagers. So what does that stewardship actually look like in practice? Well, it falls into these 5 buckets. You'll be ensuring cross-site coherence on things like curriculum pacing. You'll oversee the governance of our tools. You'll guide the communication strategy, monitor the data for big-picture patterns, and you'll manage any issues that need to be escalated beyond what a single school can handle. Of course, a system like this is only as good as the support we provide for the people using it, and that's where our professional development ecosystem comes in. It's designed for everyone, from our teachers to our coaches, right up to you at the district level. Let's take a look at how it's structured. You can see this tiered approach here. It all starts with our teachers, who complete 4 foundational mini-sprints. Then, our site coaches build on that knowledge with 8 more to really deepen their expertise. And finally, you, as district staff, will go through all of the coach training plus this orientation to give you that high-level systemic view. And there's a reason we designed it this way. This tiered structure is all about building capacity at every single level. The goal is to create a really robust and sustainable support network so we can maintain that clarity and consistency for years and years to come. This all comes down to a really important shift in mindset, and I think this quote captures it perfectly. The work ahead of us is not about managing a new initiative. It's about stewarding a system, a living, breathing ecosystem that supports our teachers and truly prepares our students for whatever comes next. So, as we wrap up, the real question for all of us is this: how will we, as a collective leadership team, steward this system together to make sure we are supporting every single teacher and every single student? That's our challenge, and it's some of the most important work we can do. Thank you.